Oh, hey, welcome back. Let's find out if we've gotten anything wrong so far. Bill, stop waving. For that, we go to Dana Vachon. What's up, Dana?
Mr. Levy, it's a pleasure to be here with you tonight in your seat. It's warm.
I try to leave it that way.
Yeah, thank you. I want to start tonight with Remy Spencer. Remy, you're a personal injury lawyer with a lot of experience representing thalidomide victims and spina bifida cases. On the topic of Donald Trump's presidential bid, we can safely assume that he doesn't want to be president, but he's also seems to be destroying any kind of brand equity that you could talk about in the Trump name. Could you draw from your extensive experience with disease to speculate on perhaps what he might be up to?
All right, number one, what I take from that question is you are spending too much time with Annie Levy. Number two, I'm a criminal defense lawyer. And number three, I think Donald Trump is just a lot of hair and hot air.
Are you saying that when Big Pharma makes mistakes that cause people their quality of life, it's not criminal?
I would certainly represent them if they were charged with federal crime.
Hey, can you really spend too much time with Andy Levy?
I don't know. Yeah, actually I do know.
Really?
Yes.
All right.
Wow. Morgan.
Not cool.
You talked about your own lack or deficiency or crisis of birth documentation. Mm-hmm. In your view, does birtherism not present just a focused Freudian projection of a broader crisis, namely that no one is exactly sure what it means to be American at all in the 21st century?
Wow. Wow, that's a deep question.
It was.
Why don't you ask somebody? I mean...
That's all he wanted to hear.
Oh, that's all you wanted to hear?
Yeah.
You just wanted to hear yourself ask that question.
No,
it sounded good.
No, that's not true, because I was impressed with your thoughts on the Jesuit order in the green room, and I thought if there's one person who can field this, it would be she who wanted nothing to do with the most learned order of the Vatican.
That was your nickname in college, wasn't it?
It was.
That's why you started drinking.
Yeah, that's a wordy one to remember.
That or red.
She doesn't want it. I mean, it's like a big canvas, and you just don't want it. You don't even want to finger paint on it a little bit?
Wait, why red?
My hair is sometimes red.
Yeah.
Not buying it. Not buying it.
You want me to prove it?
If that's your story.
Hey, why not? We could use the rain. We could use the rain.
This is my halftime, but Bill Schultz.
Yes.
You question the idea of Trump as a serious political contender. Is it true that Mexican drug lords are still trying to collect ransom on 15 ounces of his daughter's thigh fat?
Wow. So many issues to address here. Body image disorders, my nose. I don't know where to begin, Dana.
Do you think
I do know where to end, on your quadruple Windsor.
I'd like to now move to the guy on the panel with the sort of chiseled features and the sort of mid-range.
I'm listening.
The sort of mid-range, intense manner.
Sure, go ahead.
No, not you. There it is.
Wait, what?
I've got a two-part question. One, what is your name?
Rumpelstiltskin.
Rumple. What is it about two questions. You thought that the Republicans were doomed to nominate someone who was fundamentally unelectable.
Right.
One, what about the Romney factor? And two, what about the political phenomenon of a flight to quality? And three, wouldn't even these very staunch 24% birthers rather have a real Mormon than a crypto Muslim?
All right, I was only counting on two questions, so you totally lost me after the second one. Romney cannot win the middle. He cannot win the center, even though he is the most centrist of all the candidates involved here. And I forgot what the last question was.
Don't both parties, I guess the real question here is, don't both parties have a track record of actually, in the end, going with someone who is fundamentally electable?
I would say in some cases, yes, but in other cases, no. I mean, here's the thing. You have to jump over the incumbent. You've got to put somebody out there that can actually beat an incumbent, which is much more difficult than somebody winning an election for the first time. And I think that's going to be too difficult for the Republicans, given what they've shown us right now.
Interesting. Moving on now to panhandling in Florida and back to Remy Spencer. Ooh. Remy, you said that Florida has been a cursed land since the days of Ponce de Leon, and that the only thing to rival man's capacity for suffering is his bottomless falseness. And that the debate ultimately doesn't matter because in the next 36 hours, Elohim will make himself known. Insofar as eroticism pervades all things, would you describe Morgan as lithe or willowy?
I want to first say thank you, Dana, for getting my words out so accurately and precisely. And I stopped listening at some point there. So I'm sorry, what was the question?
Have you spent time in Florida or been to Boca Raton recently?
Not Boca, but I do love South Beach.
You do? Have you had adventures there that you want to share with the viewing public?
Not at this time.
Is that part of your private life, and you erect some sort of a boundary known and determined only by and to you?
Dana, are you trying to break down some barriers here?
What does cynicism mean to you? What does solipsism mean to you? Remy, we've got another one, but we're going to move on now to the question of the topic of booze in the UK.
Hold on, Dana.
Yeah.
It only matters what solipsism means to me.
That is true. And you've done a good job. I think tonight we've had a sort of solipsistic tag team.
I think we have.
At the expense, but also...
If such a thing is indeed possible.
If we want it to be, it is.
Well, I'm not so sure about that.
I've got a black magic marker here. We can make it happen.
I have one, too.
Remy, moving on to booze in the UK. You said that England's class-obsessed sociopathy is fundamentally geographical in nature.
Again.
Right. What did Napoleon mean when he derided the British as a nation of shopkeepers?
Dana, I'm not sure you understand the role that TV's Annie Levy usually plays during
Are you questioning my commitment to the truth?
I'm just suggesting that the job description may not have been flushed out for you properly. You're supposed to listen to the words that the guests, speak, and then talk about what we've said on the air.
And then go on Google.
So you're saying that you didn't wish aloud that Florida would become a modern Atlantis and just disappear to the bottom of nothing?
I guess the viewers will have to just, listen and make up their own minds.
As a follow-up, you said that Miami's economy was based entirely on the cocaine trade. Do you have any data to back that up?
Did I do something to upset you before the show?
Just your charm. You're an affable wonder.
This is flirting, if ever there was.
Yeah. I think we have a love connection.
Yeah.
What color is the pigment around your eyes?
What?
This is why Dana is in another studio.
Yeah. We keep him far, far away.
The show was going so well, too, I thought.
Yes.
Mr. Levy, insofar as damage is measurable, I think I've done all I can do here.
I think you have done all you can do here.
I don't even know where here is anymore.
Yeah. Thanks, Dana. Coming up.
Can you hear me now?
What's the problem with the Can You Hear Me Now guy? Oddly, it has something to do with hearing people. Stick around. Maybe I'll explain. He's making a stink over an awful drink. I speak of a Brooklyn DJ, because that's what I do, whose love for Four Loko inspired him to make an album protesting the crackdown on the caffeinated alcoholic beverage. 26-year-old Anton Glam says he wants the original recipe, which was the equivalent of 3 beers mixed with 3 cups of coffee, back in stores. And the cover art for his album, Never Forget Four Loko, couldn't be more subtle.
Wow.
Yeah, it shows 2 burning Four Loko cans depicting the 9/11 attacks. That's fantastic. Says Glam of the cover, quote, "Taking away Four Loko is an attack on our freedom and way of life." He then punched himself in the balls, I hope. Anyway, let's discuss all this in the...
Lightning round.
No, I thought we were going to have the long version there.
I like how you flinched.
Guy, I completely flinched. Remy, let's start with the cover. Dumbest thing ever?
Dumbest thing ever. I mean, he's getting people to talk about him,
Right.
if that's what he's looking for, but I hate him. I hate him, I hate him, I hate him.
No, I agree.
Bold statement, woman.
And I don't think it's going to work. I don't think anybody on TV is going to talk about him.
No.
I think we're good.
Should not give him the publicity.
Morgan, how outraged or not outraged are you at this guy?
I don't know. I sort of I like that he put "never forget" there because he looks like a guy who holds a record for forgetting the most things ever. Maybe he was actually trying to remember.
Right.
Don't forget what I meant to say. All right.
Oh, there he is. Check him out.
Oh, yeah, he forgot to kill that squirrel.
Wow. What is going on there? Never mind. I don't want
Good Lord.
I've had Four Loko. I've had Four Loko. I don't know if you're.
I've never tried it, no.
Marry
It's
me.
terrible.
That's what I hear.
It's terrible, and it should be banned. It should be illegal. You shouldn't, because you stay up so long. You make poor decision after poor decision, and then eventually you make a decision like deciding to be a white rapper, and that's the worst decision.
That impacts all of us.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did not realize Four Loko was responsible for the rise of the white rappers.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, yeah. That's
Great name for a horror movie.
Ban it. Chris, Glam says taking away Four Loko was an attack on our freedom and way of life, and I know you agree with that. Why is that?
No, well, I don't necessarily think it is, and this is why. We had Snow before we had Four Loko. We had all kinds of white rappers. We had Vanilla Ice. We didn't need Four Loko to invent the white rapper. I think he's putting too much stock into this Four Loko.
I didn't say invent, just perpetuate.
Oh, okay, yes.
Bill, you drink a version of Four Loko, but you don't so much drink it as there's a powder on a tabletop that you inhale.
I don't follow. You're being very vague right now.
I don't think I am. Moving on.
First of all, that's alleged. Second of all, if a ban on our God-given right to drink the equivalent of 3 coffees and 3 beers in a can format is against our our rights as citizens, but it can produce this type of protest art. I mean, we haven't seen stuff like this since Dylan went electric during the Vietnam era. This is brilliant stuff. So I say continue the ban so he can continue his art.
All right.
It's beautiful.
All right, we're moving on. Next topic.
You're moving on.
I am moving on. You're coming with me. So for a measly $70,000 a night, you can now rent the entire country of Liechtenstein, which I believe is just east of Texas, as you can see on that map.
Yes.
But what does 70K get you? The website renting out the tiny African nation suggests some possibilities, including renaming city streets, printing your own temporary currency, or having the locals welcome you with a parade. Morgan, is this worth it? What's the first thing you would do if you rented out Liechtenstein?
I'd do what I do everywhere, just stay in my hotel room watching Law and Order.
But you would know that for the whole night, the country was yours while you were doing that, which is kind of cool.
No, I wouldn't. I'd
care.
spend the 70. I would rent an apartment in Manhattan for 3 months for $70,000.
Yeah.
Like I get like a nice 1-bedroom.
Maybe with a full kitchen.
Yeah.
Possibly. If you're willing to walk up 4 flights of stairs. Yeah. No, that's
Convection oven. I'm in.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, should we do this maybe with certain states in America to help with the economy?
Well, I was thinking there are a lot of great states I'd like to visit and rent out, like Wyoming. It's a beautiful state. I'd like to rent it out, kick everybody out for a night so I could be there all by myself. But then I thought, I can just do that now. I can go to Wyoming without even having to rent it out and not see anybody for the entire day.
I thought you meant you could do that now because you make too damn much money.
All that much bank? Yeah. That's not really the case.
Well, Remy, for people like you who do have 70 grand lying around, what's the motivation for doing this?
I don't know who in their right mind would want to do this. I mean, I think you have to be some sort of narcissistic, egomaniacal personality to think that, you're going to be greeted by a parade, you're going to print your own money, and you're going to call yourself the owner of a country or an area. I mean, that's nuts. It's nuts.
You're nuts.
That really hurts.
Wow. Yeah. I guess our story selection.
Oh, is that your plan for this weekend?
Well, I kind of thought it was a good idea, but I guess I'm an egocentric, narcissistic something or other. Bill, the real challenge here, not coming up with the money, it's finding Liechtenstein.
Absolutely. I mean, apparently this is a place.
Yeah.
Who knew?
I don't know.
Yeah.
The first thing I would do is demand that my face be on the $5 Schmoomenflumer, which, as you know, is the name of their currency.
I don't believe it is.
And then I would go
$5. It's $5
Schmoomenflumer.
Okay.
Look, I'm here to report on Liechtenstein, not explain it. And second of all, I would take my Schmoomenflumers and go straight to the nearest strip bar and make it rain Schmoomenflumer. If you hear what I'm saying, Broheim, and I think you do.
Yeah, to me, this whole thing, you're not allowed to change any laws. You can't make people dance naked in front of you. I don't see the point.
You can if you have enough Schmoomenflumers.
No, you can't. Last topic. In a recent interview, Paul Marcarelli, better known as the Verizon guy, opened up about how his famous line, "Can you hear me now?" follows him everywhere. He describes how awful he felt when at a wedding, more people wanted pictures with him than with the bride. And another time, while at his grandmother's funeral, as the casket was being lowered into the ground, he heard a family friend whisper the famous line. Which is not funny, family friend.
That is terrible.
Whoever you are, you're not funny, and call us if you want to be on the show. Yeah. Morgan, this guy made good money doing these commercials. I'm guessing you don't feel all that sorry for him.
I don't feel sorry for him at all. No, I do feel sorry for the 10,000 other guys who look exactly like him.
Yeah.
Greg. Have you seen the Greg with glasses?
That? Oh, yeah. Do we have a picture of Greg with... Oh.
Wow.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not only do I not want to hear you now, I don't want to see you now. Oh.
Hopefully Greg can hear us now. That would be great. Remy, what does it say about adults who say that line to him? I mean, who gives a crap? You see this guy out at a bar, you're going to go up to him and go, can you hear me now?
Well, he's on TV. Everybody knows the line.
Everybody's
so.
on TV. We're on TV.
I know, that's true. But it's such a familiar phrase. I mean, I get that some people may approach him and want to talk to him, but I definitely don't feel sorry for him.
Right. On the other hand, Chris, he's being phased out as Verizon's pitch man. This line is going to follow him forever, or at least another 3 months. Do you feel kind of sorry for him?
No, I mean, what's he going to do? What else is he going to do now that his gig at Verizon is over with?
Right.
He's got that "Can you hear me now" thing. Maybe he'll sell those horns that old people use to put in their ears. Maybe that's something he can do.
I like that.
I think a business network there.
I think the birthers are going to hire him, and they'll have him say, "Can you hear me now?"
Oh, very nice.
That's what I think. Bill, wherever you go, people say, "Hey, it's Repulsive sidekick Bill Schultz." So you got to feel for this guy.
I feel for this guy, but stop complaining. I mean, it could be worse. He could be Jared, and everyone comes up to him and says, "Hey, he used to be a fat ass." He could be the "Where's the Beef" girl and be dead. So it could. It's this guy has not got it so bad.
Right. All right. Good point.
I feel bad that in like 6 months he's going to need to get a permit for being homeless.
Yeah.
Do not move to Florida.
Nice callback, Red. Hey, I didn't want to.
Okay. All right, time for another break. Hey, remember to check out the new Red Eye podcasts. There's a new one every day to catch, Monday through Friday. To catch them, go to foxnewsradio.com and click on Red Eye. If you don't do it, you'll be missing out on some really great conversation. For instance, tonight we talked about Wendy's new buns, that's the fast food joint, and the mythical creature known as the sauropod.
And Chris Potter.
You're good.
That was in Bangkok, Thailand. I always wondered how they got that hint of train flavor into their vegetables. Yeah.
I've never been happier to be an American.
That is the most amazing video possibly I've ever seen in my life. I love that.
Wow. And I'll say it again. Wow.
The engineering just to put that street together.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And what if you're not on your game someday? You'll hunt over, you just don't feel it.
Look at the turnips down there. And
absolutely.
Bill, I know it's hard for you to understand, but most of us are on our games every day because we have to be.
Wow.
Coming
I've
up,
said it for the
we'll
fourth
close
time.
things out with a post-game wrap-up from Dana Vachon. And to see clips of recent shows, go to foxnews.com/redeye. Hey, jerks, don't forget to watch us Saturday at 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific. And a brand new Red Eye returns Monday. We were just talking about how I nailed that.
So
yeah, no, I really
that was
did.
so good.
Thanks, man. Hey, time to go back to Dana Vachon for the post-game wrap-up. Dana.
Thanks, Andy. My first post-game question is for Chris Cotter. Chris, the NBA playoffs tip off this weekend. You got your LeBron James jersey laundered and ready to wear?
I would never wear a LeBron James jersey, Dana, after what he tried to pull last summer with his whole media blitz. No, I've got my number 22 Glenn Gondrezick jersey ready to go, and I'm going to root for my Denver Nuggets the whole way. Here's the thing, though. LeBron James, biggest selling jersey in the NBA this year for the first time in 7 years, so apparently I'm the only one who didn't want to buy one of his jerseys.
You clearly know where I live. Morgan.
Oh, no. What?
Dana can ask her, when are you performing next?
When I will be at the Comedy Attic in beautiful Bloomington, Indiana on the 21st through the 23rd.
Awesome. Remy.
Dana, does the fourth wall mean nothing to you?
Remy, I hear you're forming a committee to reverse the federal redress for the internment of Japanese during the Second World War, and that you're on the Willis Report next Friday.
Part of that is true. Thank you for the comments. Yes, next Friday, catch me live, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the Fox Business Network.
Mr. Levy, the places we have been.
What about them?
Just grand and epic, sort of
Are you
swooping
going
and
to ask
swaying.
Bill a question?
I didn't have one. Bill.
Come on, man,
You're
riff.
going to go to the big Asperger's NAMBLA joint convention this weekend at the Javits Center.
I will be taking my talents to the NAMBLA Center to protest it, because that is an awful thing, Dana, and I am against it.
That is a good thing to be against.
You're a good thing to be against. Ideally with our shirts off. Wig! But you're of age.
Oh,
Andy, I'm going to try to throw it back to you again,
Yeah.
hopefully more successfully this time.
So sorry I asked you to ask Bill a question right now. Wow. Man. All right, that does it for me. Thanks to Remy Spencer, Bill Schultz, Morgan Murphy, and Chris Cotter. I'm Andy Levy. Hey, guess what? I'm done. Greg will be back Monday.